Good morning. Hand today is going to be 9-8 of diamonds. In this hand, we have a limp, an ISO raise, I call, limper calls, and we go to a flop. So we're going to start with this guy. Limper, he limps called. He's playing 35-2. We've got 49 hands. This guy looks like a guy that if he's going to play, he's probably just going to limp. His raising range is probably pretty tight. So like queens plus ace king, something like that, and you could see it in his stats. Now, early position stat says 55%. Everything else is looking at like 33%. I'm guessing this is a little unusual. He may have gotten some cards in this situation, so I'm going, I think 20%, 22%, something like that. This is 17%. If we include it, build it up a little bit. Let's say we give all of the pocket pairs and get rid of the queens plus ace king. That's probably a limping range, but then when it gets raises, we have to see, is he actually going to call with everything? Well, we do have some information that he limp calls with queen 9 suited. So these, I think we're going to call. I've got to get rid of that jack 10. Maybe it's in his range, maybe it's not. But I do think he's probably, if he's playing, he's probably going to go for a limp call. This next guy is even harder. This guy's only 3 hands. I'm just going to say, based on what I typically see, maybe about 12% he's going to play. There's already a limper. I think, a lot of players will choose to limp. Now, this is a 25 NL game, so it could be a little bit different. We usually have better players, but, 5s plus, some of your Broadway and so forth. And I think we're just going to go from there. Gets to me, I'm on the cutoff. I've got a position where I can see a flop. And if we look at the 3-better call range, 8-9 is like right outside of that 10-9 range. Much like yesterday where I called with 7-6, I'm kind of right on the edge. I added these because I mean, that's what I did yesterday, but I don't think I should be calling these. I think I'm probably calling these a little too much. Even though I'll have position, if you compare my 8-9 to this guy's range, you can see I'm at the very, very bottom. There's a possibility that I could go ahead and 3-bet and try to pick it up. Versus an unknown, sometimes I just prefer calling so that I could get a better idea of what he's playing with. Alright, so we see a flop of Jack 6-3. Not basically a dry board. We're looking at probably top pair. Top pair plus would be the best hand right now. And both guys check. This guy, no, not surprised. This one checks. I think the check is not. I don't think you have a set. I think an oops. Yeah, I think an overpair bets. I think a top pair bets. I think even these pocket pair less than the top cards bet. So I think we're looking at like hands like this, like that 5s that he has, the overcards that he has. 30. I think that's about 35%. I think it's something like this is what he missed. It's against 2 players, and instead of attacking at the pot on this fairly dry board, he chooses to check. Now there is a possibility that he's playing like the good top pair. So we're gonna say maybe 50% he has like ace jack, like top pair top kicker, or top pair second kicker, as well as some of these over pairs. We'll say like 50% he's got like aces. I do think queens or kings will probably bet because you don't really want the aces to get there. So maybe I'll add these down to like 30%. So it may be a possibility that he has them, but really I don't think so. So it's on me. What do I do? Do I raise it? Do I just check? I think when we look at top pair, I think we are going to be betting. I think sets are going to be betting. Sets are going to be betting. I think top pair is going to be betting. And then I think it's just going to be some of these junky hands are going to be betting just to balance things out. Now, I don't think we need to bet everything. So, like, I don't think we need, like, ace jack. We've got a good kicker. However, we don't want to see a queen, a king, or an ace come and get us out kicked. I think those are probably going to be the worst cards that are out there. So I think we go for some value with sets and top pair. And we need, obviously, balance, so we're going to be doing all of those no-made hands. That leaves these intermediate cards as, like, checks. But I think maybe, you know, even like fives we could bet as a bluff. So what do? I checked. Again, I'm not gonna tear myself up over this decision. We don't really have anything. I do think, you know, and maybe we recognize the board and say, you know what, we're gonna check even with our sets because the board's pretty dry. We're gonna try to trap some people, so we'll have 100% of my range, and that could have been what's happening. Here I missed, so I mean that's it. But if we had a set, it's like, yeah, we can check. But if we bet, it's probably likely everyone's gonna fold. Let's check to see if we can catch some guy to call with a jack or with tens or something like that. Ace of diamonds, not the greatest. It's kind of the situation where if we had jacks or we had the top pair, that's not a card that we wanted to see. I'm sorry, not the sets, the top pair. If we had a top pair or over pair, that's not the card we wanted to see. Villain 2 checks. At this point, do I think he's going to change anything? No, he kind of looks like he's passive. But this guy checks, so I'm eliminating top pair. I'm eliminating 2 pair and sets. I think he's betting all of those. So I think we're really just looking at middle pair. I think middle pair is going to be checking. Kings and queens, if they have it, are going to be checking. Weak pair, no made hand. I think those are all his hands getting weaker and weaker and weaker. The question is, can I bet and steal the pot? I don't have anything. This would be just a pure bluff. But at this point, I do think we're betting sets and 2 pair. We have to start betting it now. We don't really have any sort of draws, so I think gut shots would be great for the draw, and that leaves some of these other hands as our checking range, which would include 8, 9. So let's make sure our gut shots do not get included. We're narrowed, and the king of diamonds, just a crazy run out. It went check check at this point. Yeah, I think if he had a straight, he's betting, but this villain could have everything. And I think he probably calls top pair. Probably not middle pair. I think he calls top pair plus. So if we look at 34%, I think he's going to fold a lot. This guy checks, so set and 2 pairs out. I think we're looking at something like that. Let's get that in there. Something. And yeah, that's set 2 pair. That's what he would call. So he's got everything still. This guy betting those, and then for us, we just have a bunch of weak pairs and nothing hands. There's no reason. I don't think there's any reason to try to bluff to try to steal it. Now we could have picked it up. So is there something that's different? Yeah, it's on that flop. This hand could have been used in the bluff range, help balance our value. That's and it would have given us a shot at winning this, but you know, as it is, you know, fairly dry board. Really, it's just this guy. He kind of checks, so not too concerned with it. But I think we could have bet flop, just kind of as a bluff. And then when the ace gets there, you know, and it checks to me, I think we just give up. I think we're looking, if we bet, we're looking at like 10, 7, 5. 10, 7, 5, maybe queen as possibly continuing on the turn, because that kind of gives us some gut shots. I'm not even thrilled with an 8 or a 9 if I get called. just feel like I would still be behind, and that's all I would be going for, would be, you know, 2 para trips. So all right, hopefully you enjoy this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another.